So I think the first thing I'll talk about is how to change the appearance of your website through themes. This is just a very basic introduction. I won't go too much in depth into it. This is a fresh installation of WordPress in one of my practice areas. If you go to appearance, there's a concept of themes, and you can see there are 3 of these themes come default with WordPress. So the idea of a theme is that it's a skin or a completely different, it's a skin or it's the design that's used for your website. I have 2017 turned on. So if I go to my website, you'll see that it has this style going for it, right? If I were to, let's say, activate this theme, it will look my site, and now if I hit refresh on my website, it'll look completely different, right? And there's all these other themes. There are free themes and there are themes that cost money. You can find free themes in right in the WordPress area. So if you just hit add themes, these are all the free themes that are available to you that you can download, right? There's featured, popular, plenty that you can search through. There are other websites that also sell themes. I think one that I go to is Theme Forest. All right, this place has a lot of themes for you to pick from, right? But these ones will cost money. And I'm sure there's plenty of other websites out there that offer themes, whether they're free or require a purchase. Okay? So that's the concept of themes. One thing I do want to mention about themes is that once you have one installed, so let's say I have this one turned on. If you any of these options, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you have this theme activated, clicking on any of these links will modify this particular theme. If I go to, let's say, 2016 and hit activate, now if I click on any of these links, it'll modify the details of this template. So let's say, for example, I click on theme editor. Actually, not so much theme editor. Let me pick something else. Customize, right? So this customize option is very likely something you're gonna click on quite often when you're working with a theme. And you'll see that when I hit customize, I am working on the theme 2016, and it gives you these types of options. Right? You can change the site title, tagline. Sometimes these websites give you, you can change the theming color, right, of it. So there's more of a purple theme now, and you can, all right. So you have a point and click interface on how you want to modify a theme. So I've kind of made it pretty ugly. Hopefully you get the idea, right? And yeah, you can modify widgets, you can modify menus and everything. And you can even add your own CSS rules in here. I want all A links to be, color pink. So that should really stand out, right? And if I hit publish, I believe my website should look completely ugly or different. I typed yellow for the link color. Oh wait, what color did I type? I typed pink, right? So that's why these links here are pink, right? So that's one way to modify a theme, is to use these theme options. I want to mention a few things. I think the first thing is that these menu options here can be different depending on what theme you choose. So for example, if we're on the theme 2016, the options we have here are site identity, colors, header image, background image, menus, widgets, homepage settings, additional settings. All right, so in fact, I am going to take a screenshot of this. Give me a second. What was it? Right, okay. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of this for a moment. These are the options for 2016. All right, so I'm just going to put this off the side for a moment, and now I'm going to change themes to, let's say I pick this theme. I hit activate. Now if I hit customize, you will notice that these options here are different from the options in the 2016, right? This is 2016 options. Here you get different options. So every theme will have its own set of options, which is just something to be mindful of, because what you can edit in one theme doesn't mean it's something you can edit in another theme. So that's the first thing I want to mention. Second thing I want to mention about these themes is that for the most part, what you can edit, you'll have to think about you're editing through a point and click approach most of the time, as opposed to really editing anything with CSS. I know I've shown that, in fact, let's take a look at this. I don't even think they offer an area for you to type in CSS code to override existing CSS styles. Article series. Yeah, I don't think this one even offers. Yeah, this one has a more restricted, it's more restricted in terms of what you can modify in this theme. Okay, but you saw that in the 2016, we had an option for modifying CSS. And if I even pick 2017, let's take a look at the theme. Sorry, not theme editor. I'll come back to this afterwards. Go to customize. And let's take a look at this. I'm comparing with 2016. It looks like this one, 2016 lets you modify the background image through this option here, but the 2017 option doesn't let you modify this background image. So, but they do let you modify CSS in this version. Okay. So I think that's one of the things I want to mention about themes, is that these options will be different, and depending on what theme you choose, you don't be able to edit certain things. Having said that, what if you do want more control on what you want to modify in these themes? Well, one of the things you can do is you can actually click into Theme Editor, and you can see that you actually have access to all the CSS code here. So you can rewrite this if you want. And off on the side here, you also see all the template files that's associated with this theme. All right, you get a sidebar template, search form template, all these different things that you can modify. The home page template, so you can actually modify things here. What I should say, this is not HTML, or it's not just HTML code. You'll have some PHP code in here as well. And PHP is another programming language. It's a server-side language, which I don't think I'll have time to speak about in this class or in this video. It's a full-blown programming language, which you can learn about in another course. Okay. So the summary is, through this theme editor, you have access to all the template files, and you can make drastic changes using your knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So even though you can do that, the best practice in terms of theme editing is to not actually modify any of the code, either in the theme editor, and it's not necessarily the greatest idea to try to modify the code while you're in the additional CSS area. Right? You can add changes to the additional CSS if it's, let's say, just a really quick hack job, or you just want to get something out the door, and it's not really something, it's not, you don't care so much about future maintenance of the website. Then sure, you can throw it in here. And the next place is, if you're still, a slightly better place is this theme editor here, where you start modifying this code and modifying the CSS code here. So it's a slightly better place, but still not the best place. The best place to modify a theme is through a child theme, right? And that's going to be a subject of another video, where you make, let's say, it's not correct, but I'll kind of say it's more like creating a clone of this theme and modifying only those files that you need in that clone, while also inheriting the properties of this parent theme, which is this theme. Right, so that's the concept of child themes, which I'll talk about in another video or in another lecture. Right, so now you know that you can customize a theme through this option here. You can customize it through Theme Editor by modifying all these files. And each one of these options here, you can modify widgets. So the concept of a widget is that if you actually go to a page, I'm going to hit refresh because I think I may have activated another theme. Right? So this is considered a sidebar region within a template, And you see that through this widget option, they've also given you 3 regions, a blog sidebar region, a footer 1 region, and a footer 2 region. And you can drag these options, like you can drag a search into the footer, right? And if I go scroll down, right now I don't see anything in the footer, really. Like there's a footer 1 region and a footer 2 region, but if I hit refresh now, you'll see that now I have a search option, right? And I can create new options. Let's say, I think there was a custom HTML, right? And actually, you can create your own custom HTML object, but here's a simpler thing, right? Add widget. Oops, I don't want it in the sidebar, or maybe I do, but for now I'm going to put it into the footer. So now the footer 1 region has this widget and the search widget, and for this widget I'll call it hit save, and then I refresh this, I'll have another widget in here. And footer 2 is this region over here, so you just throw another block in here and it'll show up here. Or I could have thrown this block at the bottom of this sidebar block or up here. Okay? So that's the concept of widgets and these regions. Again, every theme will have different types, different regions. So this theme only has 1 blog sidebar, a footer 1, footer 2. Another theme might have multiple sidebars, different types of headers, and different types of footers. And they're all actually specified in the theme editor. So if you know PHP coding, if you go to theme functions and we scroll to, I'm actually going to search for it, region, actually it was called sidebar. Let's see, there we go. All right, you can see that, well, not even here. Let me click again, sidebar, register, here it is, okay. You can see that in this theme functions.php, that they specify that there's going to be a region 1, a sidebar 1, sorry, not sidebar, a blog sidebar, a footer 1, and a footer 2. So one of the responsibilities of the theme functions.php is to specify what regions exist in your template, so you can drag and drop widgets into it. That's just one of many responsibilities that functions.php serve. And I'll talk more about what functions.php does in another lecture or in another class. It might be beyond the scope of this course, but if I have time, I'll speak to it. For now, just know that functions.php does a lot of things, and one of the things it does is register your regions for your templates. All right, so that's functions.php, and that's how widgets work. Menus I'll speak about shortly. Header, there are some header options, and you can see that clicking on the header option just brought you into the customized theme area, in which case you have all these other options as well. All right, so that's the structure of a theme, of a pretty standard theme.